a game that you kind of smack talked a little bit last time. EA College Football coming out July 19th, so right around the corner. Dave, has your thoughts changed on this game?
Can I be honest with you?
You're gonna say no.
No.
Why?
I don't understand. Like, has your thoughts on the game changed?
Quite a bit, actually.
Okay, I need to hear your points.
There's a lot of points. Okay. I think one of it is I watched a video of a content creator that got to go play the game, and
Yep.
one of his biggest things, and who knows, maybe he's paid by EA. I have no idea. But what he said is like a lot of people were worried about this being a Madden clone. He said it felt more loose. Like it didn't feel like Madden because it felt like the game mechanics were a lot more fluid and like it really didn't feel like Madden. Is basically what he was saying. And I have a trailer here. I'll just leave it up in the background. We don't really need to necessarily talk about the trailer. It's just more gameplay of the game because we didn't really have much about the gameplay when we first talked about it. But that was the biggest thing that the guy had talked about. He was saying the game felt a lot different in terms of just the mechanics of it. And because a lot of times with Madden, it felt like very clunky in terms of like the cornerbacks were like elite cornerbacks and like could turn around and just steal the ball out of the air when they should have had no play on the ball and things like that. And for me, I think that's a good sign when they say it doesn't feel like just a reskin of Madden.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I think that's one person's opinion, and like I'm not really kind of willing to bank my entire thought on this. Like I can't endorse this game after just one person saying that it's kind of not like Madden.
It was okay. It was more than one person. It's just the way he said it just stuck out to me more than more people. But I think what they're adding to this game is a lot more. Okay, game mechanics aside, I think I'm excited about. If it were to come down to Adam, you have to pick one, Madden or college football. I'm picking college football. I just think what they're bringing to this game adds so much atmosphere with having 130 full every FBS school. I think that's really cool. The fact that they actually went to all these schools and like put their traditions into the game and made it feel like you're playing at these stadiums, like you see here with the mascot on the push-up board and the motorcycles and like the Spartan from Michigan State. Like I feel like they're putting a lot of more feel to the game rather than Madden. Does that make sense?
It makes 100% sense, and I want to just take a second here. And if you are still watching us after the last college football video, I want to do hand up accountability here because in the last video I said that they probably were going to have a hard time doing all of this, and they pulled it off. So hand up accountability. I was wrong. They pulled it off, and they got all of this stuff into the game.
Yeah.
But here is my big thing, and it could be totally wrong, and I could be totally kind of, just standing alone here, but we're seeing a little bit of gameplay right now, but not much, and it makes me very scared that they are focusing so much on all of this kind of tradition and all of these cutscene stuff and not really focusing so much on the gameplay. And from the little bits of gameplay that I've seen, it does look a lot like Madden. And and I get it, it's a football game. There's only so many things you can do, but I still, in my heart, feel like this is a Madden reskin with a couple tweaks, and all of this stuff that they're including is cool. Like it's cool, I'm not gonna lie, all of these traditions and all of that stuff, but really think about it, dude. Like how, like, this is exciting for now, but how many times are you gonna watch this intro? Like you load into your season, you're playing as Alabama or whatever, how many times are you gonna watch that intro and think it's gonna be cool? Like there's going to get to be a point where you literally just do what 99.9% of players do, and that's just smash X until you get into the game because you don't care about any of that crap.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I think part of it is it comes down to the different modes too, like the Road to Glory, the Dynasty modes, where people like in the past, like everybody loved the Road to Glory and like breaking school records and things like that, and I think that's where a lot of the excitement's coming from as well. Because I agree, the game is made on the same engine, And I it's like accountability with this. I was like, oh, it's gonna feel and look a lot different because it's a different group of people making it, but they're like you said, they're making it on the same engine as Madden, like Frostbite. And I agree, it looks very similar, but the things that they're adding in terms of like the different game modes and they'll probably end up adding this to Madden eventually too. But the new wear and tear. So wear and tear is essentially the progressive player health system in the game. So like it determines the risk of injury. So it's not essentially it. Sorry, taking it back. It's not saying that your player's gonna get injured. It's it damage like the damage that your player takes. So if you get hit in your throwing arm, it's gonna affect how like deep you can throw, your accuracy and things like that. And that's new, but I'm sure Madden's gonna adopt something like that now because
Right. And that's kind of my thing too, is like, I don't know. It like I don't want to say that like this is like a tester for Madden because it's a totally different game, but you have to have in the back of your mind that they're looking at all of the things that people are saying about this game right now and the things that people are excited for. Madden is currently working to adopt.
but I think one thing that Madden's never gonna be able to have in the game is they're not gonna have the like the college dynasty. Like you're not going to be able to recruit players from high school and the transfer portal and things that people are excited about, if that makes sense. So I think this game offers a different level of excitement because like Madden can't do that, if that makes sense. Because you don't go to other NFL players and you know what I mean. Like I think that's where some of that excitement's going to come from.
I don't know. I understand the excitement for all of it, but I've been through this before as a Madden player. Like having like I love I love franchise mode. I love it. I mean, it's essentially the same thing as Dynasty. I mean, you can trade, you can import draft classes and stuff like that. But you get to a certain point where it's just you're kind of done with it. You know what I mean? I usually get like maybe 3 to 4 years into a franchise before I'm just kind of over it. You know what I mean? And it really kind of happens with like, when you start drafting, people are really good with like the play share and stuff like that of like building, draft class that you can download and stuff like that. But once you start getting like, eventually you're going to get to an entire league of players that aren't real people that don't exist. And I feel like when most players get to that point, they're just like, okay, this is stupid.
Yeah, you know what happens next then?
What?
The next one's coming out.
I don't
That's
know,
that's the
dude.
cycle of it. But
I don't know.
I can see what you're saying, but at the same time, like the people that play these games, they're in it for the long haul for the most part. Like the really big fans of Madden and now college football, yes, they'll play the dynasty, but and then they'll go play online and do competitive things on that side until the next one comes out to start their next dynasty or their next road to glory. For me, all I want to play is road to glory and just break a bunch of records. And that's what I'm excited about. And
Yeah, and I honestly, I'm gonna be honest here, dude. I think we might be on the wrong side of the coin here. I The more and more that I'm kind of looking at Madden and EA college football as a whole, I feel like the player base that's really keeping this alive is the online community. I feel like this is almost like turned into a Call of Duty situation where it's like the online is way, way, way more important than just what you're gonna do in a single player portion of this game. You know what I mean?
overall, I think it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna get this one. I mostly because it's a new installment of the game. Am I gonna continue to buy the game as they come out? I don't know. It all depends on my first experience of getting this, which is coming out very soon. Um, and they're adding a lot of things to here. I was gonna go into like the dynasty mode and everything that they're kind of adding into it. So coaches will have skill trees, and like the skill trees will have 11 different branches. And what's cool with that is like so your coach can't maximize everything. And so that's where you have to hire and fire your coordinators to help boost spots that you're weak in. So I thought that was kind of unique and pretty fun. Um, and keeping coaches is a big part of your success. So if like you have to keep your coaches happy and your coordinators happy, and if you're so good, like some of your best coordinators will leave for head coaching jobs, and I think it's going to have a lot of dynamicness to it, and I think that's really cool. Um, Players will also be at a high risk to transfer if you don't keep them happy in terms of like the deal breakers that you told them as you brought them in. You can recruit from the transfer portal, and if you're recruiting somebody like from high school and they decide to transfer, like whatever you did with them in the beginning will like still apply, if that makes sense. Um, Custom conferences, so you'll be able to like tweak the conferences to put different teams together. You can't create new ones, but you'll be able to switch the teams around. Custom schedules, create visits for recruits, and yeah, I think it's cool. I'm excited. I don't know. I just think they're adding a lot of elements that Madden doesn't have, and I don't think Madden can have.
I think that's a give and take though, right? So like all that stuff that you talked about, that sounds like I know some people are super excited, but there's got to be some people out there like me that just sounds annoying. Like that sounds annoying to me. I built this roster and then like my star quarterback's gonna be a freaking diva. Like this is a video game, dude. Get in there and throw the ball.
But you got to think like there's a fan base for that type of game. Like you look at Football Manager, people just want to manage. They don't want to play like and you just put a good soccer dynasty together without actually playing the game. You have to like do the numbers and the crunching and like the budgets and things like that. And people like that side of things. And I like it for a season or two, and then I don't want to do it anymore. But for me, that's how I play it. But I think there's a big base that people are going to be excited, and a lot of the like the recruiting and the coaches, from what they had said, it's a set it and forget it unless you want to make tweaks to it. So I think that's like it's a good sign that it's gonna be in the game, but it's not gonna be like a core component of it.
I'm just so undecided on this game, man. And I've really tried because I knew we were gonna revisit it, and I'm like, change, like find something to change your opinion. I got nothing. I really got nothing. Like you were talking about hiring and firing coaches, you know, your coordinators and the transfer portal. It's a lot like it's a lot like the trade block. I mean, it's just Madden.
It's not just Madden,
It's
Dave.
just Madden, dude.
You're crazy if you think this is just like Madden.
It's just Madden.
Well, you haven't played Madden forever.
It's just Madden.
It's not just Madden.
Guys, it's just Madden. I'm sorry. I don't want to be the one to to burst the bubble. It's just Madden with a bunch more teams.
Which is cool. Teams with atmosphere. When you play Madden, like there's nothing that like is really exciting to me playing Madden.
I'm just kind of saying that like this atmosphere. I will admit, like the college landscapes has a way better vibe than pro ball. I'm not arguing that at all. The college landscape is so much more fun and interesting. But the problem with the college landscape is that it doesn't game day doesn't translate like how a Saturday feels when you're watching your favorite team to a video game, because this stuff is going to get old quick, and eventually what you're going to do is just skip through all of the bullshit as fast as possible to get into playing the game. So at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is how the game plays.
And I don't think it's gonna play as much like Madden as you think.
It's going to play like Madden.
I don't think it is.
It is. You're going to have some different formations. You're going to have a few
Tons
different
of
moves.
different formations.
It doesn't matter, dude.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, and then the player attributes that they're gonna have, they're almost like the 2K badges rather than the X Factor, where they really make a difference. Where the player attributes in this one isn't so much about like, you know what I mean? Like it's not a guarantee. Like if you're playing well, you play like your character's attributes like show up more. But it's not like an X Factor. If something's gonna happen, an X Factor is like, you know what I mean, takes over the game.
I mean, if people really love that, though, what's to stop Madden from just changing the way the X Factor works? Because that's all it is a weighting system. I mean, it's the coding is just weighting a character based on numbers X, Y, and Z, and once they hit a certain number, their stats inflate.
Who knows? Like Madden may start to feel like that, but at the same time, it's like I said at the beginning of this, it's which one would I rather play, and that's going to be college football, if that makes sense. And yeah, they're probably Madden's gonna adopt stuff from this. And then college football's gonna adopt stuff from Madden. And will they start to feel similar? Probably. And like you said, how much can they make feel different in a football game? And I think what it comes down to is everything that we kind of mentioned with just being the college setting. And for me, like, how cool is it to take like Hawaii, who's probably never been to the national championship, and bring them to a national championship? Like, that's cool to me. Like, bringing the Browns to a Super Bowl, like, that's not as fun to me.
But why?
Because I don't know.
It's like I don't know. That's why I don't know. Like I don't know. Is bringing Hawaii to the national championship any different than like bringing air, like I don't know.
I think if it's gonna be like the dynasty mode, like let's say you're really into the dynasty mode, I think it's gonna take more effort and more like thinking and trying to like get these recruits into your school. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just thinking that it's gonna feel a lot more fun than Madden, and I could be completely wrong, and that's okay. But for me, I'm excited for this one. I'm gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. Um, and now I'm gonna go to the last game mode. This is where people are a little bit more upset, I guess, disappointed. They're disappointed in the fact that you won't get to play a high school in the Road to the Glory. Like,
Yeah, which is very weird.
which I think it's kind of okay for me.
Is it though?
Yeah, because when I played it, like I just wanted to get into college. Like I didn't want to play these 12 games and it was kind of tedious. And there's always like 8 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns. And like for me, it just got tedious, if that makes sense. Where I could see like kind of a meet in the middle halfway is like maybe you play in the college like or the high school playoffs. Like that's like your final season, high school playoffs, and like that's where it comes up. But with this Road to Glory, you'll get to pick your star rating, and with that is like, and you can combine elements that you want in your recruiting stuff, if that makes sense. That like are important to you. So like you want to stay close to home, or you want to start and things like that. But and you'll essentially get to pick any team that you want to play for. But depending on what star recruit you pick, will determine like if you pick Alabama as a 2-star recruit, you're never going to see the field right away, if that makes sense. But if you pick like a 2-star school and you do really well, then you can transfer to like an Alabama because you brought yourself up so high and things like that. And I think that's really cool. And the video I watched, they didn't say much about it because like they were under NDA, but it's combining elements from the older games that people really loved. So I'm excited to see what that is and things with that. And then focusing your time each week, you can focus on weekly elements such as like if you don't focus on your academics, you become academically ineligible. Your recovery time will determine how much an injury risk you are. Brand exposure for like NIL deals, which also gives you boosts in the games and stuff like that. So there's not a lot on that yet. There's gonna be more as they do their deep dives with it, but I think it's pretty cool.
I'm actively trying to change my own mind, and I just I just cannot. I just cannot get there. I can't see enough for me to think that this is going to be anything different than Madden with some nice, shiny bright lights to kind of distract you from the fact that you're playing a Madden reskin.
No, I'm okay with that for now until I play and I feel like I'm playing Madden. But couple other things. So one thing that a lot of people are also disappointed is you won't be able to export your draft class from put EA 25 into Madden,
Right.
and that's because of like all the opt in opt out deals and stuff like that. A lot of legal stuff with it, so that makes sense. I know it sucks, but it just you're getting an EA game, you're getting a college football game. You've been wanting it for so long. I think you can kind of bite the bullet for not drafting it or like putting a draft class into Madden.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with them paying the players and stuff like that. Like it's just it's a whole mess. It's just never gonna happen, guys.
You won't be able to really edit players in the game because they don't want you to put like Arch Manning into the game because he opted out. You know what I mean? Like you'll be able to create brand new players from scratch. So I don't know why you wouldn't be able to make Arch Manning from scratch, but in a team, like on a team, you cannot change players' names or anything like that. So
I don't know how they're gonna stop people from doing that. What is it? Is it just like a spelling of a name that's like invalid or something? Yeah, like
instead of Arch Manning, I'll put Arc Manning, Arc Man. I don't know. Yeah, hey Manning. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna stop that, but at the end of the day, the people opted out. They don't want to use their names, so we'll see how that works. But other than that, I'm excited for this one. Am I going to be excited about this in August after playing for a few weeks? Who knows? I've been trying to find a way to get back into football games. Like I tried the wild card football. I had fun with it. Got boring quick. We both tried playing Madden, like me versus you in Madden. We hated it from the jump. Is it going to be the same? Who knows with this game? I want to love it, and I can see where you're coming from, Dave. It's hard to say if it's just going to be a Madden reskin, and cautiously optimistic is the word I'm going to use.
don't get me wrong, guys. I know I'm talking a lot of crap about this game. I am very pessimistic about this game, but I will say that I love football. I love football. I would want nothing more than this game to be absolutely incredible because I've been wanting a good football game for as long as I can remember. I don't even remember the last time that I enjoyed playing Madden, but like when I did enjoy playing Madden, like I was deep into it, dude. I loved it. I loved taking my team to the Super Bowl, building my franchise, changing the roster, so, like building the new stadium. Like I love football. I absolutely love football. It is by far my favorite sport. Do I want this game to be amazing? Absolutely. I would love nothing more for this game to just be absolutely incredible. I just I just have my doubts and I'm sorry I got to stick to it.
And that's completely fine. Like you said, you're probably gonna make some people mad, but for me, I think there's a lot of positive for this coming out, and the fact that they've worked so hard to bring it to the table, and they've worked so hard with the colleges and the players to bring it to the table. I think it shows that they really care about giving a good experience, or at least they're giving what fans wanted for so long, and that's an EA college football game. And I think that's a good step in the right direction. Now, is it like you said, Madden reskin? We'll find out here on July 19th.
We can start and end this segment the exact same way. Hand up accountability. I gave hand up accountability saying that I was wrong with them being able to get all of these licenses and put all this crap in the game. If they actually make this not a Madden reskin, I will be the first to hand up accountability, say I was wrong. So
Dave's gonna write the review on this one.
we will find out. We will find out if I'm wrong. But, like I said, I would love nothing more for this game to be absolutely incredible.